Anyway, the first poem my husband actually found in a newspaper from Dubai in a recent trip he went to. It's actually an article, but it's really good. It's called The Empty Chair by Rahendra A. Aneha. They say that when a horrible shock stuns a person, the mind seeks refuge in some trivial detail and becomes fixated on it, like the needle of a record player which gets stuck in a groove. Perhaps that's how a neon sign that kept blinking became fixed in my mind. Her admission to the hospital is a bizarre, fast-forwarding flurry of activity. The hurriedly summoned ambulance, the stretcher being rushed up in the emergency lift, the doctors and nurses taking over. When we waited outside, the only memory I seemed to have was that of the meaningless neon sign, blinking, green, yellow, white, on, off, on, off. Then, 5 days later, the struggle was over. She lay on the emergency table in the intensive care unit. They let me in after her battle had ended. She lay there, surrounded by a few tons of steel, chrome, and glass equipment that I had never seen and still do not understand. Behind her was a wall of sheer glass. Her fights with the illnesses that had troubled her were over, but she did not look drained, just serene, composed as if in deep slumber. She had fought well. Every night, the neon sign blinks ceaselessly. Green, yellow, white, on, off, on, off. A nurse gave me the bangles and rings that she had been wearing. She did not look into my eyes. She knew what this would do to me later. I did not then. As I left, after packing her belongings in the hospital, my eyes fell on the neon sign outside the window. It was blinking, monotonously, relentlessly, as it had been 5 nights before. Green, yellow, white, on, off, on, off. Nothing had changed outside the hospital. They say we are a caring people. True, especially in distress. Friends and relatives move in and out of the mind's camera, as in a surreal film. The days fly by. Friends take over the work, ease the pain. The clear, cold waters of the Ganges River take away the rest. And at the end, there is a vacuum. It remains. Time does not heal that. I thought it would. At least that's what everyone told me. With the hiatus comes regrets of not having said thanks or sorry when I should have. And when the unhappiness overflows, friends rescue me. But the sting of the absence remains. No one sits in her chair. It is always empty. And everyone still talks in hushed tones at home. No one raises his or her voice. Every night, the neon sign blinks ceaselessly. Green, yellow, white, on, off, on, off. There is no change in its rhythm, but a chair remains empty at home.
Wow.
Okay. This next poem is written by all of you. Just call it simply The Hermitage. I unpinned the moon from the sky's collar, plain and unadorned, a snag in the fabric of the universe. Then go take a flying leap at the moon fairy. Cut the tag from my collar, rip that creation out of you. I went to the chapel and opened the door. I am a dragon setting a tree on fire. I reached out and touched the sky, turning away from the frowning gods, swimming into the sky. I am wiles and voodoo, all the longings of our oscillating hearts, for all our looking upwards, we never once looked at ourselves.